All right, I am sick of this crap on my engine, my 2018. I have already deleted the exhaust portion off this, the DPF and SCR, and unhooked everything under there. Been driving around for like a month now. No issues. Programmer's working good. Just got it set to like a street tune. It's not blowing any smoke, so we're gonna rip this crap off here now. And I'll kind of document the process. As you can see, I've already pulled off the cover, so we can start doing this. It's 4 8mm bolts. So you can either, I'm just gonna put our pile right over there. So the first process I'm gonna start is taking off the crossover pipe on here. I'll show you how to do that. All right. I'm gonna remove these band clamps. There's one here and one over here on this crossover pipe, and then there is a nut hidden down here to take the crossover pipe off. So we'll get that next. Then we'll take this crap off over here and put on the O-rings and stuff, and then we get to start the hard stuff on that side, which I guess is not very fun, because I almost fall off. The other thing you might want for this is a nice stand. I've had this for a number of years when I had a Power Stroke, and I was always having to work on that stupid thing. That thing made life a lot better. So we'll continue on with the next process. These, the band clamps are usually 11mm. These ones were also 11mm, so go ahead and use an 11mm socket to take that apart. Continue on. All right, to get this crossover pipe off, here's what I've done. I unhooked both sides of those V-band clamps, removed them, unhooked the wire to the sensor, and then I've got my little ratchet here, 8mm, and I am just trying to turn that screw out. It's loose now, broke it free, and the other side is actually just welded to the bracket, so that's all you gotta worry about is getting that off. I know some people, it's like taking them hours to get that off, but wasn't that bad. Here we go. All right, well, got that off. That was pretty easy. So we'll stick this over here in the pile. I'll just save all this crap, so if I ever trade my truck in, they can have it. All right. Next thing we're gonna do is pull off the EGR controller and probably the throttle plate closure, whatever the hell they call that thing. And I've got those parts over here. This whole kit was only 65 bucks. This is the throttle plate adapter thing. Block off plate, some gaskets, O-rings, bolts. This is the one that goes in the back on your exhaust manifold. This is the one that goes on the front. So, and then a new coolant crossover pipe and an exhaust spacer to hold this bracket on. Get going on that. Doesn't look too bad so far. So we'll probably just take this off next. This, I don't know what the hell they call that. And then we'll pull this off. All right, you'll see there's a couple gaskets on the top here. The nuts or bolts were 10mm. There's 4 of them. Just crack those off, take it off, and just tap it a little bit, and this will come right off. Next ones up are these bolts that are like the protector for this, or I don't know, like some kind of guard to keep people from screwing with it. They didn't try too hard apparently. And then we have our EGR cooler and everything that's going to start coming off next. Engine's still a little warm. I drove it around, so I'll probably just take off the air box next, remove all that and the piping so there's more access in there, and then we'll start deleting the EGR cooler and stuff. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now, well, there's a bunch of, got the gaskets off, I'm just gonna clean that up with my drill and that little wire wheel real nicely. not too hard. And then we'll put the cover plate on there next. All right, that's all cleaned off. Took a little brake cleaner just to wipe it off. Shove some rags in the hole before you go to town, cleaning that gasket off, unless you like that stuff in your engine. All right, we'll take the plate. This is our plate right here. Fits on there like that. A couple of O-rings. Let's see if we can find that thing again. Right here. Here's our hardware package. There's a couple of O-rings in there and some Allen head bolts for it. So we'll start doing that next. I always like to save my bolts in a bag with the stuff I'm taking off. Then I can find it and store it a lot easier. So we'll get going on the next part. Okay, next thing we're gonna remove is this block plate. I don't know, keep you from screwing with it probably. 13 millimeter right there, and then the other side 10 millimeter. Next thing I'll start doing is removing the air box and this turbo inlet tube so we can get a little more access down here. Looks like, and then we'll start taking this off right here. There's another V-band clamp right there, another 11 millimeter. Start taking off the control valve and some of the bolts and stuff up here, and then we gotta get back in there somewhere to get the other 15 millimeter bolts off, I think is what they are. So we'll continue on now. With that, I'll take some more video as I get stuff apart. Okay, so there is a hose here that goes down to the turbo for the crankcase, and then down there further, you can see way down there, there's a band clamp you gotta undo to take off this inlet tube for the turbo from the air filter. So that's what we're gonna do next, and then we're gonna continue on over here to, I took these bolts out right down here. They hold this bracket in place. They're 10 millimeter. There are 3 8 millimeter bolts that hold this thing in place, the actuator tube, and then we can start digging into this a little more deeper for the other stuff. So here we go. All right, inlet tube is off from the turbo. We're just gonna hit the rest of this now, see what we can get off. I'm gonna start by taking this bracket off, loosening it up. There's another 10 millimeter down here, and then we get the 11 millimeter here, and these bolts in here, and these bolts up here. So start taking that apart next. All right, I don't know if you can best show you this, but there is a bolt on, or a nut on each side. You ratchet in there with like a 6-inch, 3-inch extension, I guess, and a deep socket, and you can get on those. That's the left side, passenger side, and the other side, there's another one on the other side. Just put your hand around the back like this to help yourself get it aligned and get your ratchet on there. So I'm gonna take those off real quick. And those are the only two to hold this cooler on from the back. So we'll get going on that real quick, and I'll return after I'm done with that. All right, we got two back bolts off, and pop the coolant line that goes across here. Not quite sure how I'm gonna get that out yet without, pop the coolant line right here. All these bolts are free, coolant's out. That thing is loose. So now I just gotta wiggle that out. See if I can do that by moving this around. I'll probably just pull this hose clamp off, remove that, and then I should be able to get the rest of the crap off. Do that next, I'll take some more video. Our cooler is now deleted. So we're gonna take off this front part now, and then the bracket, and we're on the home stretch to putting the stuff back together. All right, block off plates are in. Now what we gotta do is put on the support bracket for this crap, reroute the coolant lines, and hook them back up over here. See, that needs to be hooked back into this T right here. Not sure what to do with this thing yet, or what it even is, but we'll leave it there. Get that process going now. We'll grab the bracket and start putting that in. Okay, so this kit's just a tad bit different than the other ones I've seen around. You do need to keep this stupid plate in here, so don't take that out. I don't even know what brand I used. I bought it on Amazon. I might as well just shut my pie hole. Next part, this little bracket holds this tube in for the coolant crossover. So you're gonna want to put that back in. There's a little hole right here where it goes in, a little slot. You see that right there? And then you just take and bolt your bolts through these holes that are here. And they line up with some holes in the bracket. So we're gonna do that next. Block off plates are all in place. And then we'll just have to fill it back up with a little coolant. I don't think we lost very much at all. I didn't drain the system. I think it's a waste of time. Just put a catch can underneath there, or a bucket, whatever, and we're good to go. Here we go for the next part. All right, so after screwing around for about 20 minutes trying to figure out how that bracket goes in there, I just cut it in half. Said, screw it, I don't need that back part. So yeah, the back part wouldn't go around this little area that bumps out on this other bracket. So see that little knob that comes out and up? That it wouldn't work with that, so I chopped it off. I think 2 bolts will hold this just fine. Okay, so my bracket trick worked. Everything fits now. You can see that I've got the bolts in. Everything's tightened down. Shouldn't be leaking. Crossover, what do I call it's on? Hose, pipe, whatever, yeah. So all we got left to do is refill the cooling system. I didn't lose too much, and then put the air intake back on, and we're all finished up. And I think I need to plug in this sensor right here. I'm gonna relocate this and bend it a little bit, but I gotta be kind of careful about it. I don't want to break the tube on it. Bolted that back down, transmission. So we're pretty much ready to go. And then I need to find a 10mm socket. I dropped it down in here somewhere. I have no idea where it went. So we'll do that. Okay, air intake, air box is back together. I've just got these to tighten up. I do those last so that it makes it easier to line everything. So now that everything's all aligned, I'll just tighten down the clamps. Everything's all aligned, I'll just tighten down the clamps. I sprayed this bracket out with a bunch of rust converter. It's ugly. Hopefully it'll convert black a little bit, but we'll see. So pretty much everything's done up. I have this to do. Kind of would like to just put a filter on there, plug it off or something, but we'll see. Don't really like that going through the intake and the turbo and stuff. And then after all that's done, we just have the closure flap to take out. We'll do that in a little bit here too. Okay, everything is all buttoned up, tightened down. We've got our what the heck that called? The crankcase ventilation system all hooked back up, going back down to the turbo. Everything's all hooked up. Kind of a tight fit here. I don't know if I need this thing or not here. I don't know. So we'll see if later time. Transmission dipstick is kind of hitting it, but I think everything else is pretty good. We got the block off plates in place. Remember to keep this bracket in. Just look at your kit and see what you got. Oh yeah, and don't forget to plug back in your sensors over here when you get done. It's about all that you have to hook back up. I found my socket. This guy is like 4 8mm bolts and a plug-in, and you got to undo a 11mm hose clamp right here. So we'll do that. There's a new filter that comes, or a new gasket that comes with it too. So I think I'll do that real quick and give her a test fire. I already know it's gonna run, so not really a question there. So we'll get going with this part. Okay, so we got the throttle valve closure thing off. So we're gonna put the new one on. right there. Just it uses some, these really long 8mm. The last one is like hidden underneath and a pain in the butt. So you put these newer Allen bolts in with the kit. There's 4 of them, so we'll do that next. And I'll give you a picture when it's all buttoned up, ready to go. Okay, we're now done with this side. Throttle valve delete is done. Let's give her a cold start here. Let's just do this. Nice. All right, I'll get some coolant. Look like I have any leaks, so I think we'll be good. Get some coolant, fill it up, and be done. Sounds nice. Exhaust brake is on. Got our MM3 going. No warning lights, just a coolant light, of course, but we'll get that fixed here in a sec. All right, so that ends it. Overall, took me, took me about 2.5 hours to do that on the engine. Watched a couple other videos online before I did it. It wasn't too bad. My hands aren't really dirty, so pretty happy with that. I shouldn't have any more crap going in the engine at least, and if I have to, I just put it all back together before I sell it. All right, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you want to see some more Cummins Ram things fixed up on this. Got a few more projects coming up, so see you later. Like and subscribe.